What is up, guys? Welcome back, and I am not doing a collection update. Finally, I know, channel called Lunar Blood Reviews, and I do more unboxings and shit than actual reviews. This is kind of a review, but this is just kind of a list of 5 albums that got me into death metal. I've been in a big death metal kind of kick lately, and I know that might sound weird for some people, but for me, my music taste really depends on my mood. And yesterday, I was just man, I want to listen to some Atheist, Suffocation, Possessed. But here are 5 albums that got me into death metal, and this is in a pretty, I don't want to say generic, but no particular order, but it kind of is, besides the last two. First up, this one, I feel like everyone knows. Sorry, notification. I don't know why Do Not Disturb doesn't stop fucking things from popping up, but Cannibal Corpse's Tomb of the Mutilated, literally the first death metal album I ever listened to in full and actually got a CD of. I mean, we all know that infamous art. Everyone should know this album. And if you're wondering, yes, the 3 words: hammer, smashed, face. I found Cannibal Corpse through Loudwire on their top 10 most brutal songs of all time. I also found Mayhem, Cerebral Bore. I'm pretty sure Cattle Decapitation was on that, and they would have made it on this list, but it was more so they were my first death metal show. And they were really good. But that's beside the point. And I remember asking my dad, "Hey, can I use some of my money?" Because I didn't have a credit card at the time, or debit card or anything. So what I would do is, I would have a little bit of money, and what would happen is my amount would change because we would write how much I used or had on the fridge from a check or whatever from my grandpa. It was a whole thing. And I remember just fucking going "Can you help me order something?" I know she's not gonna like this one, but I love the album. Cannibal Corpse, Tomb of the Mutilated. And he's like, have you actually listened to it? And then he made the whole Cookie Monster thing. And I was like, you do that, but it actually takes a lot of talent to do it. And I remember the day I got it, I opened up and I put the thing in the CD player, and I just turned it up for Hammer Smash Face. And then my dad was working from home, so unfortunately I had to turn it down. But I remember just jamming this and Creator's Gods of Violence just over and over in high school. Speaking of albums I would listen to a lot in high school, actually all of these are bands and albums I found in high school, especially over the pandemic. Aborted, Retrogore. Not the first one I actually bought though. That was Terror Vision, but it was this and Mania Cult that really got me into Aborted. Especially this one, because this one has Retrogore, Hormageddon, Bit by Bit, Divine Impediment. And I remember just being absolutely in awe with Aborted, and I've seen them the most times. Outside of local bands, um, yeah, and I could have seen them a sixth time, um, but I decided to go to a different tour because that tour had a band I've been wanting to see for a while, and another one that I wanted to see again for a while. So, but I digress. Sorry, I keep going rambles. I remember listening to the title track after hearing the name Aborted in a J-Hoff Films video. I can't remember which video it was, but I remember just checking it out and instantly becoming hooked. And kind of same thing for this one. I mean, I'm wearing a shirt of them, Suffocations Pierced from Within. This was mentioned. These last three were actually all bands I found through Killbot and Gorgortek, which phenomenal guy, really nice dude. I actually met him at Lords of Acid last year in Detroit. Please go check his channel out. I guarantee you will not be disappointed. There's something for anyone. But he mentioned in his Obstacles Young Metalhead's face, and he said there's families that are finding copies of Suffocation's Pierce from Within may cause some stupid emotions, I think was what he said, something like that. And I remember listening to, again, the title track, and I was just like instantly hooked. And then I listened to Thrown to Blood, Dose of Depravity, Drawn into Enthronement. The version of Breeding the Spawn on here, so good. Oh, and I want to preface, just because I mentioned the one track for Aborted doesn't mean that's the only track I heard, obviously. I feel like I shouldn't have to explain that, but there are assholes out there that like to take that out of context. And actually, this was not my first Suffocation CD. Kind of like how Aborted wasn't my first Aborted CD. Because I couldn't find this for a while, and then I got it for Christmas, and I was like, oh, Suffocation. And I immediately put it on. Like, immediately. Next up, Nile, Annihilation of the Wicked. I remember Killbot's video on Nile, and I remember just the art intrigued me. And I listened to Lash to the Slave Stick, and the technicality, my goodness, God. I was floored. I was absolutely floored. And then Cast Down the Heretic. Annihilation of the Wicked. I remember just absolutely loving this album, and I still love it. And then this one, he also did a video for them, Origin, Echoes of Decimation. I remember checking them out right after listening to Annihilation of the Wicked, and I remember he did a video where I think it was like the Hard Wait for Metal show was the video, where he was gonna go see Origin that night, and it was like kind of depicting like that long wait for it, and he's like, Echoes of Decimation, my first Origin album. And then he goes to listen to him. So I decided at school the next day, go like, alright, what's that band, Origin? So I put it in, I found Echoes of Decimation, and I remember Endless Cure came on, Because I had also watched his review on their vinyls, and Endless Cure came on, and I immediately started headbanging, and the teacher saw me and was like, "Are you having a spasm?" Um, and then I just showed her what I was listening to, which was on my phone, obviously, but I showed her what I was listening to, and she's like, "Can I hear it?" Gave her the earbud, and she immediately took it out. She was like, "What the fuck?" Like, her face was like, and I was like, "Your face just kind of like dismantled. You good?" But yeah, Echoes of Decimation. And I remember like Cloning the Stillborn, Staring from the Abyss. Man, when I heard Staring from the Abyss, I was hooked. But yeah, that's 5 albums that got me into death metal. Obviously, there were more, but I don't have all of them, or I can't remember all of them. So, and I know some people might be like, "Oh, how come not Morbid Angel or Death or whatever?" And I'm just gonna say this: some of those did get me into them, but I don't really listen to them as much as I used to, or didn't really listen to them fully until later on in my and finding my love of death metal. So I'm obviously not gonna put something I listened to way after I got into death metal in a how I got into death metal list. That said, thank you all for watching. Thank you for subscribing, and as always, shine on.